And good afternoon. Welcome to the Chris Salcedo Show on Newsmax. As you know, over the last week or so, we've been shaming the biased press and revealing their hypocrisy and unfairness through our new segment called The Question Is. These are questions that the press refuses to ask because the lion's share of those calling themselves journalists have become the voice of big government rather than being the voice of we, the people. But today, we pivot back to the preamble because some things require unvarnished and uncensored conservative opinion. A party of hypocrites. That's the focus in today's preamble. Unlike the left, we conservatives back up our opinions with facts, often using the Democrats' own words and positions to drive our points home. Multiple analyses show that America is on pace to be burdened with 6 million additional illegal aliens by the end of Joe Biden's first 2 years in office. The national security, health, and humanitarian crises at the border is the oldest set of crises brought on by Joe Biden's Democrats and the longest set of government-caused indignities that our people have had to endure. Because the Democrats have been working so hard to facilitate illegal immigration and ignoring the damage being done to Latino communities in the process, Hispanics are escaping the Democrats' plantation in droves. Seeing how the Democrats' destructive push for illegal immigration has awakened the Latino community, GOP leaders in various states are seeking to awaken the rest of the population. In true Democrat fashion, Joe Biden's corrupt regime has been flying illegal aliens all over the United States and dumping them into red and blue states in the dead of night. Biden has been careful to hide his treachery from the American people. Most of the press has been willing to enable this. So the GOP is deciding to show America the consequences of voting for a Democrat in the bright light of day. Joe Biden's failed border czar awakened to busloads of illegal aliens, courtesy of the Democrats' illegal immigration crises, dumped right on her front door. Illegal aliens were pictured by news crews just milling around the Naval Observatory today. Meanwhile, left-wingers are literally cursing Governor Ron DeSantis for shipping illegal aliens that Joe Biden dumped in Florida to one of the left's haughty elitist enclaves, Martha's Vineyard. It seems that Democrats talk a good game promoting illegal immigration so long as it can be confined to right-wing states. But the minute they have to contend with hordes of illegal aliens themselves, well, left-wingers, they start dropping F-bombs. Some Democrats went even farther. After condemning GOP governors as non-Christian for forcing so-called sanctuary cities to live up to their support of lawbreaking, the racist mayor of Chicago, who infamously said she wouldn't interview with white reporters, only reporters of color, Lori Lightfoot, she shipped illegal aliens out of Chicago after condemning Republicans for sending them to Chicago. In my opinion, the Socialists and the Democrat Party are a hypocritical cancer and blight on our entire society. They undermine the rule of law and are unwilling to live in the disastrous world they create for the rest of us. They also accuse others of doing exactly what they are doing.
Look, everybody's entitled to be an idiot. No, everybody's entitled. Okay? Look. Extreme MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and our economic security. They embrace political violence.
Left-wingers in this society often complain that we conservatives call them names, but they never bat an eyelash when their own do the same. And as you just saw Joe Biden accused Make America Great Republicans of embracing political violence, would any of you be shocked to learn that it's actually Democrats who are doing that?
This is an outright attack on women in this country. That is how I see it. That is how more and more women and those who support our right to make decisions about our own bodies, that is how we see it. And why? Because that's what's happening. Madam President, I yield the floor, but clearly, this is a literally call to arms in our country.
The not-so-distinguished senator from Hawaii, ladies and gentlemen. Mazie Hirono from the Senate floor is calling Democrats to take up arms to go after those of us who defend the defenseless and voiceless babies that Democrats so savagely and inhumanely seek to deprive of life inside the womb. Has any news organization decried this call to violence? I will. Will Senator Hirano get a visit from the FBI like the MyPillow guy did? Doubtful. Then there's this guy, Tim Ryan. He's a Democrat who told CNN that he won't run as a Democrat because the Democrat brand is not too good right now. Then Tim Ryan jumps on MSNBS and says that the exhausted majority needed to kill and confront the extremist Republican movement. We need to kill and confront, says the Senate candidate from Ohio. First, doesn't Tim Ryan look like that nerdy villain from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or am I crazy? Secondly, it wasn't too long ago when Governor Sarah Palin was excoriated by bedwetting liberals in the nation's newsrooms for targeting Democrats in political races. They slammed her, accusing the conservative firebrand of promoting violence against Democrats for using common language targeting key races to flip elected seats. Those same nattering nabobs are silent when a Democrat calls to kill and confront what he labels as extreme Republicans. I do not accept this double standard. Neither should you. And speaking of those double standards, I, your liberty-loving Latino, abhor all racism. I will not excuse or overlook racist Democrats or Republicans. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and MSNBS, they will. Racism, hear me now, racism is wrong, no matter who is partaking in it. Meet Calissa Wing. She's a member of Lloyd Austin's and Joe Biden's team at the Department of Defense. She is a diversity chief at the DOD, and Calissa Wing is a Democrat racist. In 2020, she tweeted, quote, "I'm so exhausted with these white folks in these PD sessions. This lady actually had the caudacity to say that black people can be racist too. I had to stop the session and give Karen the business. We are not the majority. We don't have power," end quote. I guess caudacity is audacity demonstrated by white people. Calissa is not only a racist, but she tried to explain away her racism by claiming that you can only be a racist if you have power over somebody else, says the woman in a position of authority in the DOD. Calissa Wing is a liar. Anyone who hates any other person because of the color of their skin is, by definition, a racist. One doesn't need power to be a racist, but one can do immense damage when one is a racist and gets power.
Have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
The reason I was able to stay sequestered in my home is because some black woman was able to stack the grocery shelf.
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Hypocrisy never sticks to Democrats. The great Rush Limbaugh often observed this. The reason why is that the press, corporate America, the Surrender Caucus GOP, and the censors of social media have sought to protect the violence, racism, and illegal activities sponsored by and undertaken by the American left. On this show, the wrongdoers will not be allowed to go unchallenged. What the Democrats are doing to this country is wrong. It is immoral, and it deserves your organized opposition.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. September is historically the worst performing month for the stock market, so you better be ready for it. The Fed continues to aggressively raise rates, and JP Morgan is forecasting another mega rate hike September the 21st. Is that why Jamie Dimon said an economic hurricane is coming our way? Well, gold and silver have remained remarkably stable despite the Fed aggressively raising rates today. The Patriot Gold Group has a special incentive for Newsmax viewers. Huge! Now precious metals investors can enjoy the no fee for life gold and silver IRA on qualifying rollovers, or enjoy free discreet insured shipping on all direct gold and silver purchases. Here's the number, 800-356-4470. Call 800-356-4470 today.